In the central series of Game of Thrones, one of the audience's favorites is Tyrion Lannister, played by Peter Dinklage. Most of the series' content surrounds the great houses of Westeros, and the House of Lannister rules over all. In this video, I originally planned on talking about the origin of Tyrion, which perhaps lies in the Targaryen legacy. Unfortunately, I feel this idea has somewhat been covered by others on the internet. Instead, I would like to talk today about fan theories. Now, what is a fan theory? According to Mechanisms for Interpretive Cooperation, Fan Theories in Virtual Communities, from this website. Fan theories are interpretive proposals made by readers which are discussed, contrasted, and shared within affinity spaces. They anticipate or infer future content, explain specific events, or propose alternative visions. Since the creation of the internet, the masses have been given a voice on the outcomes of their favorite TV shows, movies, and video games. For the longest time, this role has fallen to critics and critics alone. And it wasn't until the last 20 years that everyone else has been given a chance to talk about their ideas on a wide-set platform. Fan theories provide a unique perspective on a set of events that happen in a narrative. And as of recently, these theories have emerged as something more, a leaping point for the next parts of the series. Whenever a piece of media is released, one of the most driving forces for it to be popular is its presence on social media. The current Game of Thrones series on streaming and House of the Dragon releases episodes weekly, and each episode is met with critique from every corner of the internet. This critique, along with memes, hot takes, and more, can influence potential plot lines. By giving us a piece of media that already has a literary source, but also straying away from the exact plot, many fans find delight in trying to guess how the writers will present the content. TikTok is full of reaction videos and fan theories about what the next episode will entail based on hints given in teaser trailers. It provides an active community and thorough conversation about the fate of these beloved characters. Let's return to Tyrion as a Targaryen. Several internet fan theorists came up with this idea from a mix of TV show content as well as details from the show. But as the later seasons came to pass, this idea seemed to cycle out as more and more evidence came up for Tyrion being a full-blooded Lannister. Killing fan theories has little consequence on the story, but can mean a lot to viewership. Many people who participate in fan theories demonstrate disappointment whenever their theories are not confirmed. And some even go as far as to not approach the content afterwards. This is an extreme reaction, though. During the process of writing this, Tyrion's mother, Joanna Lannister, was notably courted by Aerys Targaryen, aka the Mad King. This happens in the books, but not on screen. It is implied that he had a pretty massive crush on her. Finally, Tyrion has something called dragon dreams, which are very common in Targaryens, especially dragon dreamers. These people tend to be able to see the future in relation to dragons. Daenerys is shown to have this at some points, and as well as Helena in the new series. All of these theories connect Tyrion back to the Targaryens. During the process of writing the script, the Tyrion as a Targaryen fan theory started circulating on TikTok once more. I was already mostly through the script when I encountered a counter theory to this one. This was the idea of Jaime and Cersei Lannister, Tyrion's brother and sister, being the secret Targaryens rather than Tyrion himself. While there is much more evidence for Tyrion being a bastard, this counter theory has a better storyline. King Robert Baratheon fights a great war to defeat the Targaryen dynasty, only to accidentally marry a Targaryen and put her bastard on the throne. Next, Tywin's repeated line of saying that Tyrion is not his son would be very cathartic in this alternate theory. Tyrion would be his only real son, and yet he is seen as so much lesser than his siblings, who are clearly the ones in the... Finally, there is a repeating motif of saying the Targaryens wed brother and sister. This line is brought up numerous times whenever Jaime and Cersei defend themselves, linking themselves to this family. It's very interesting that they keep bringing up that specific line whenever they talk about Cersei and Jaime. It's almost as if they're trying to allude to something else. Overall, this fan theory is most likely not true, but because it is interesting and supported by certain aspects of the plots, some fans have accepted it as a headcanon. Headcanons are another example of audience interaction, both with each other and the media itself. Headcanons can persist even in instances of a fan theory being wrong. Meanwhile, the validation of a fan theory, or a fan theory properly theorized, can lead to more intensive viewership. For several fan theorists, the confirmation of Jon Snow as a Targaryen created a euphoric feeling for many viewers. Whether or not the plot point was planned from the beginning, which it most likely was, being able to put together the pieces given by a TV show can make a viewer feel happy and thrilled about the storyline. But not all fan theories that come true meet the same reaction. For several seasons, fans of Game of Thrones predicted Daenerys Targaryen would become a Mad Queen, and this became true in the final series. Yet when it happened, the internet overall was unhappy with this ending, due to inconsistencies in the plots. Whenever Daenerys conquers King's Landing with her dragon, burning millions to the ground and basically fucking over everything, it seems very reminiscent of the Mad King, which is sometimes hinted at during the show, but it didn't seem like the way her character was being built up. Dany also goes on and on about wanting to break the wheel and to stop the cycle of abuse by monarchies, only for her to do that exact same thing. So that was really frustrating. The fact it was a fan theory suggests that it had a basis in the plot before it occurred, but it still left viewers angry and unsatisfied. Why? If a solved fan theory leads to increased connection to the story, why was everyone upset with the result? I believe that there's a sufficient storyline that must support the possibility of the plot line happening. If the media builds a continued idea and then goes against it, viewers will be disappointed. So if everyone theorizes that Daenerys would be a Mad Queen, it can hint either way to her. It can hint that maybe she will rise above it, or she will fall to it. If the ending was planned and Daenerys was always going to burn down King's Landing, why did they include so many details to support otherwise? Why did they have her talk about breaking the wheel? The most obvious answer is it wasn't planned and was simply made to flip the viewer's idea on its head. Game of Thrones is not the first piece of media theorized to react to fan ideas of how the plotline would progress. Marvel's Endgame was met with some disdain due to fan theories being destroyed and unexpected endings occurring. In the media, there will always be shows with disappointing endings, but highly curated projects such as Endgame and Game of Thrones are aware of audience participation as they advertise their content on social media. Sometimes they even validate or acknowledge fan theories. It is increasingly difficult in this day and age to be blind to audience participation. Media companies desire this interaction and actively promote it. Therefore, the only viable answer is naive ideas of hoping the plot sticks with the viewers and makes sense. But it doesn't always. Which brings me to my final point. Not all fan theories work out in the end, obviously. Most fan theories come from a logical process that is shown in the show. Jaime Lannister's character arc in Game of Thrones starts with his love and dedication for his twin sister Cersei. As the show goes on, Jaime is forcibly separated from her after being with her the majority of his life. They're twins. They came out the womb together. But as he's separated, he finds a new love interest that lies outside his family for once. Logically, fans guessed that he would end up with this love interest, Brienne of Tarth, because his character growth was this growth away from the his incestuous, codependent relationship. That wasn't the case in the end. Throughout the last season, Jaime turns his back on his to help fight the White Walkers, only to return to King's Landing to save Cersei. After a character's arc is built in a certain way, it's logical to expect it to be finished to completion. When it's not, it's disappointing and frustrating. Yes, some character arcs are supposed to be disappointing, but this ending went against the entire purpose of Jaime's adventures, making his entire character arc completely purposeless. That means the fan theories must have some kind of support and logic. And this is also why the Daenerys plotline didn't really work. Overall, fan theories are an amazing part of the media world. Each week between episodes of House of the Dragon, I would scour the internet for content. Internet culture moves very fast, and in a world of streaming, fan theories create a continued debate about how shows will turn out, or how they could have been better. In conclusion, the idea of subverting expectations isn't something writers need to strive for. If a reader is able to guess your ending, it's not because the show or book is bad. It's because there is a consistent theme building behind the ending that was finally vindicated. Thank you for watching.